Hello everyone, my name's Dean, and let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is June 2nd, 2025, and we're in a new era. This is a new season in the cryptocurrency markets. Don't expect everything to behave like it did in the previous season, right? This is very important, and I'm going to demonstrate this on a small time frame just so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. It's very, very different than what we're used to. I'm talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about the relationship to Bitcoin with altcoins. All right. So altcoins have finally broken out. Bitcoin dominance is finally dumping. What can you expect next? This is what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss some targets to the upside for this particular move in the immediate short term. If that all sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get started as usual with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has spent most of the day dumping and consolidating. All right. Typically, when you see something like that, you expect the entire cryptocurrency market to be red, to be negative, because that's what we typically see, right? Bitcoin leads, altcoins, everything else follows. Bitcoin goes down a little bit, altcoins go down a lot a bit. But Altseason means that relationship changes. It's not that we ignore Bitcoin. No, we're still going to have to follow Bitcoin as a proxy for the rest of the market. But altcoins will have relative strength vis-a-vis Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes down, they might go down a little bit or not at all. They might just go sideways. If Bitcoin thinks about going up or starts to go up, they may go up a lot more. This is very different. It is materially different from before. For traders, for chartists that act as if the market is always one way and they have a strategy, and that strategy is applied to the market, whatever the conditions, they win, and then all of a sudden their strategy doesn't work, or vice versa. They lose, and all of a sudden their strategy is working. Why is that? It's not that difficult. It's because there are seasons in the market, just like there are seasons in nature. And when we talk about alt season, it's not entirely metaphorical. It's quite literal. The fact that altcoins now, generally speaking, not every single last one, but generally speaking, will have relative strength vis-a-vis Bitcoin, meaning if Bitcoin wants to go up or thinks about going up or goes up marginally, altcoins go up a lot. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. You can see it quite literally on this chart. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. I've talked about this chart. I'm not going to explain how we got where we are, but I want to point out this is the 4-hourly time frame. For the past 1, 2, 3, 4 hourly candles, right? Almost 12 hours now. This, what I just said in the past minute, 2 minutes, is what you see there. Bitcoin dominance going down, meaning altcoins gaining strength against Bitcoin. We're going to come back to this chart in a second. Let's finish with Bitcoin's analysis. So Bitcoin, we do expect a move up. It's a modest move up. It's not that big a move up. People who are none the wiser are trading Bitcoin long, are expecting big moves from Bitcoin. It's already told you what it's about. It's already told you what it intends to do and how it intends to do it. It's showing you in the chart relative weakness in this consolidation and how it's matriculating through and struggling to just hold this level. And when it does go up, you can expect a choppy, non-decisive, kind of like very choppy, lazy matriculation up to the general target. And again, you can see from the price action, we don't have to bust out the fibs. Let's just go on the 4 hourly. You can see the next logical resistance above where it's at is the bottom of all of this, right? The bottom of all of this, and then the cap is this swing high right here. You see, price has shown you that there's a resistance here, there's a resistance here, right? Resistance here. So this is very likely where we can expect Bitcoin to land if and when it makes its way up here. This is very important if you're under the impression that Bitcoin is bullish right now. It's clearly in a bearish trend. Zoom out a bit. This is the trend. This is the counter trend. You don't want to mistake the counter trend for the trend, even though it may fit your desire or your narratives. You know, at the end of the day, you just want to trade the chart and make money and be profitable. The trend and the counter trend are quite clear. Notwithstanding, we still want it to go up even in counter trend, because that is enough, despite it being in counter trend. That momentum, albeit modest, is enough to propel altcoins. So even in alt season, you need Bitcoin to comply. Even in alt season, you need a bit of a nudge from Bitcoin, and we're going to get that nudge, even though it's a 4% nudge to the upside into resistance. Okay, so that's still the move. That's still the read on Bitcoin. You can see it in the momentum indicator right here. This is the 4 hourly time frame, right? So the momentum is still crossed bearish on the 4 hourly time frame, even though we've been going side to side and basing for almost 3 days now. Okay, if this were an actual bottom, you would see at the very least this momentum indicator start to cross bullish or bottom into oversold territory. It's not even close to oversold territory. Going to the daily, it's probably, okay, daily is in oversold territory, but it's actually about to cross bearish, right? So all I'm saying is this, like, look, the hourly's about to cross bearish, but we know that it may still proceed up, but it's not very confidence inspiring if you're anticipating a massive base, massive bottoming in Bitcoin and a subsequent large move up. That's not what's going on here. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. We've gone over that. Nothing really new. It's quite obvious. If you don't force yourself to try and see something you want to see, it's as obvious as any read, right? Usually the simplest reads are the easiest reads, and it's as simple as anything. That's a left shoulder. That's a left shoulder. That's a head. That's a right shoulder. That's about to form. You're making what is classically known as a bearish reversal pattern, a head and shoulders pattern, and you're forming the right shoulder. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, that's Bitcoin. Now, I want to go back to this Bitcoin dominance chart, because really this is the interesting thing in the market. This is something we haven't seen for years. Bitcoin dominance going down, and not just going down correctively, going down and trending downwards. Okay, look, daily time frame. Look at what you're dealing with. Bitcoin dominance is about to cross bearish on the daily time frame. Bitcoin dominance is about to cross bearish on the stochastic RSI momentum indicator on the daily time frame. Even without the indicator, even without the help of the stochastic momentum, the stochastic RSI momentum indicator, you can see very clearly you're forming an A, B, C correction right here. And this is a breakdown of a larger rising wedge that we've looked at, right, for a while on this channel. And your target is really simply the bottom of the wedge, right? Because rising wedges tend to break down and target the technical target of the breakdown of this pattern is the base of the pattern. So that is our target. That's when you should momentarily pause being bullish in altcoins. Very simply. It's a very simple read. Go on the daily time frame. You can go on the weekly time frame if you wish and see the same thing. And the weekly time frame is also quite compelling. The momentum indicator is crossed bearish, and you can see it still has a ways to go before being in oversold territory. But the daily time frame, I think, is the most salient and the most interesting and the most clear and compelling. Look, rising wedge breaking down in a 1, 2, 3 ABC zigzag, and the target is our pink box. And I set that target months ago as it was forming. Maybe, yeah, months ago. So that's still the target. And that's when I temporarily pull back on my longs. I temporarily take profit. And then I wait for this to come up. Do the same thing again, right? Reverse. And I rinse and repeat. I go long again. I get bullish again on altcoins right here. And then I'm waiting for the next leg down. Rinse and repeat for a year. Okay? That is my target on the Bitcoin dominance chart. That's going to be one of my indicators to sell my positions, to take profit in altcoins. That's the clear and clean and clear read on the Bitcoin dominance chart. And as we said, altcoins are gaining dominance against Bitcoin. Altcoins are bullish. This chart says everything I just said very clearly and without a doubt. This, you don't get big red candles on this chart without altcoins beating Bitcoin. You just don't. Okay? Now you can see it a little less clearly, but you can start to see signs of it here on the total crypto cap chart. Okay, so I went into both the total 2 and the total 3 yesterday. This is just the total 3 that we've been following. And what's important is we got a basing pattern here. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3 bullish reversal pattern, breaking out and matriculating upwards. And our first main target is going to be, like I said yesterday, the midline of this 500-day channel. So that's going, the first main target. Why main target? Because before encountering any significant pullback, you go all the way to 1.18 trillion in the altcoin space, I believe. Okay, so that's my target. Very quick and easy, simple. Why? Well, very simply, 2 reasons. One, you're hitting your head on the resistance of the 500-day channel. This green, dark green channel that you see is a 500-day channel. The midline of any channel is resistance when you're below it, support when you're above it. We're going to hit our head against that and create a retracement. The second reason is you have this rising, broadening wedge that you're going to break out of and then retest the top of, okay? And you can also say that you're retesting the top of this double top right here. Boom, boom. This is my target. So I have a target using Bitcoin dominance. I have a target using my total 3. That is going to be my main, or those are going to be my main aggregate kind of holistic indications for when to take profit on altcoins and stop being bullish again temporarily, because I'm going to be generally bullish in altcoins for about a year. Now, it doesn't mean that everything's going to go in up and hit its upside targets in one straight line. Things happen, the market breeds, it goes in and it goes out, and it happens in stages. And one of the ways I'm going to maximize profits for myself and my clients is using these charts, finding necessary or logical resistance levels where to take profit, and not only using that, but also using levels for specific assets and reading those and really fine-tuning. Okay, I want to take profit there because I know we're going to have a 50 to 62% retracement once we hit that, and I'm going to use a confluence of different indicators to really corroborate my read. So that's basically, I'm just giving this away, using the Bitcoin dominance and using the total 3 market cap charts. That's how and when I would take profits for this disbelief rally. The first move in alt season is called the disbelief rally. You can reference your Wall Street cheat sheet emotions, or I forget the name, the official name of the chart, but it's like the Wall Street cheat sheet chart, and everybody that posted on Twitter is literally posting it wrong. I'm just gonna say it. They're posting it wrong. It doesn't make any sense. They're saying we're here. Literally, we're in the opposite place. This is the disbelief rally. This is the disbelief rally, the rally that people didn't see coming because they think the market is never going to move, but it's actually going to move, and that first move is going to be disbelief, and that in the aggregate is again a 40% move. So that is that's my target in Bitcoin dominance in the total 3. Of course, as is true with any market, some assets are going to reach it first, others are going to reach it later. That's why you can use this in complement of actual analysis of your individual assets, but you should do analysis of your individual assets because not everything's going to go in unison, all together and hit that target all at the same time. Some things are going to be sooner, some things are going to be later, some things are going to move higher, some things are going to move lower. So you have to be able to read individual assets, right? And that's kind of why I do what I do with the crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service. All right. So that's my read on the market. Like I said, typically Bitcoin's moving down 1%, 1.5% or whatever. Things are moving down much more. But you can see Bitcoin down 1.2%. It may not be that big a deal, but the fact that you have some altcoins in the green, even marginally, and then other altcoins moving down as much or less than Bitcoin, that is an indication of the beginnings of alt season. Now, what we obviously want to see is a proper breakout with big green candles, with double-digit gainers, and that is imminent. That is imminent. So, guys, that's it for me. There's not much else to say. There's not much more to say today. But, yeah, this move is imminent where we're going to get altcoin moves in the double digits and eventually hit those first targets before Bitcoin reaches its resistance level at around between 107 and 108, giving then the next big leg down. I hope you guys found that interesting, useful, helpful. If so, like, share, and subscribe. Consider tipping me by Venmo, Litecoin, Cash App, all at the pinned comment below, and consider my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service. You can sign up for one-on-one consultation with me. Also at the pinned comment below. Take care. I'll see you later.
Arrived at the fork in the road, could turn back, repeat the same story, or march forward and embrace change and reflect upon His glory. I'm a selfish man, therein lies the whole problem. Torn between my actions and the will of my heart. I had to take it all apart to see where I stood as a man, to depart from this world and leave it in His hands. Come on. Looks like
like I'm heading for the gold, y'all. Touring on a pothole road, y'all. I get it even if I didn't fit in, winning right up to the end like I didn't even know, y'all. I have pop's genetics, working hard never to get it, like shit it better than letting life get the best of my efforts. Instead I dedicated to bettering my steps, measuring investments, watch me do